Is that all? Well, I brought a special guest, Jessica Kelly, lives here in Slaton, part of the Benke clan.
Oh, no.
And she has volunteered with my persuasion to give a little speech about what she does as a CEO or executive director of the Slaton Harvey House. And so she is going to tell us all about it.
Cool.
Jessica?
All right. I grew up in Shallowater, and I always knew what the Lions Club was, but it was this like elusive elite group that I could never like figure out if they wore cloaks or that type of thing.
It's pretty mystic.
Yeah, it is. It's a mystic organization. My name. You'll figure it out eventually. My name is Jessica Kelly. I'm the manager of the Harvey House. I've been there since about June. We had a birthday party for you last weekend, or for your wife. I've been trying to get here since I started. Really, he's been trying to get me here, and he is persuasive. He won't leave me alone, so I'm finally here. But I know the Lions Club is a backbone organization for so many communities, so thank you for having me. I've had an interesting and exciting year since I started at the Harvey House, and I've met lots of people. I think I've been here for about a decade, but I think I lived under a rock that decade because the only people that I really knew were my church, and I stayed home with my babies, so it's been really great to get to meet really a lot of y'all in here since I started, so we've been having fun. Growing up in a small town, I wanted to leave the small town as fast as I could, but when my kids started school, I realized what the draw was, and so when I moved to Slaton, it was for that reason, to put my daughter at St. Joseph's in a tiny itty-bitty little kindergarten. And over the last 10 years, I've really come to fall in love with Slaton. And it was funny when Slaton and Shallowater were playing each other a couple weeks ago. I was like, oh, that's my hometown versus my hometown. But I was really glad that Slaton won because Shallowater, whatever. And so my interest in Slaton in particular multiplied a lot when I started at the Harvey House. I started reading a lot of history about the town and the railroad, that building in particular, the agricultural history, and I'm really become enthralled with who we are as a community. And so I felt really passionate about getting things started there and in our community, but I know so little people. So I've really tried to start making some connections and meeting people through town. So thank you for bringing me here. But Slaton is a great town. You know, you see the community come together in instances like when a kid collapses on the football field. You see what happens in a small town and how everybody comes together to pray and to feed and to have community. And that sense of community is really important and inspiring. So anyway, that's enough about how I feel about this town. When I started at the Harvey House, I didn't know anything about the building. I had seen the building. Everybody I have ever met has taken pictures on the caboose at that building, but I didn't know it was open or anything. So for those of you who don't know what it is or who haven't been there before, it's a bed and breakfast. Upstairs we have 4 bedrooms. Downstairs is an event center. It's about maybe a little bit bigger than this room, but it's really beautiful, a great place for any kind of event. And we're also a museum, which a lot of people don't know. We've got some really great artifacts from when it was a restaurant in the early 1900s and when it was a depot in the 50s. And that building in particular is really special because it's the last standing building from when Slaton was started. It was built in 1912, and it's, the last standing railroad structure. And whenever something happens there, whether it's a Sweet 16 or a wedding reception or a birthday party, it's really kind of magical and you can feel it. Or whether it's a murder mystery dinner and you are the astronaut, or don't be the teacher, or our hired gun, whoever, whatever, the murder mystery dinner, you can feel the magic come alive in that building. It's a living kind of building. I was hoping Julie was going to be here. Is she part of the Lions Club? She is, isn't she? Because she was our murder victim at the murder mystery dinner, and she rolled around on roller skates all night and then put makeup on like a zombie. It was so much fun. And then when I have guests come and stay the night, it's important for y'all to know, as part of the town, that they're coming from all over. Scotland, England, all over Texas, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Idaho, Michigan. They're coming from all over the states and then even internationally to Slaton. The Slaton Bakery is giving us great exposure to our town. And then once they get here, they're starting to fall in love with the little things about Slaton. And the credit union will send people to the Harvey House if they don't already know that we're there. The bakery does too. We all kind of send people to each other. But we've had guests off of TripAdvisor come from Scotland specifically to our little B&B. So it's a pretty neat thing that's happening there. That building holds a lot of memories. Lots of good ones and apparently lots of not so good ones that I've heard. Anyway, so where we are right now is we just started working with the local school here. So that when kids are learning about Slaton history, they're going to do a Slaton history section so that when kids are learning, they can come to the building and be in a physical representation of where Slaton actually began. So that's really exciting. And we're in the process right now of building a 5th bedroom downstairs. So we're going to have one more room in our bed and breakfast, and we'll have an opening whenever that's complete. I just filed a grant to try to get that caboose red again. It's in really bad shape, and it's such a cool structure. It's one of the last standing wooden cabooses in the country. So we're really going to try to honor the history of that. And right now I'm really trying to plan, people keep asking about when the Wednesday lunches are going to come back, and they're not. But I'm really trying to get something going weekly coffee, or even a once a month dinner. But I need feedback from the community as to whether or not a once a month dinner would be something that was worth my effort and the efforts of those involved. I think it'd be fun, have Italian night and have Italian music playing and some lasagna, or have Cajun night and have a shrimp boil or whatever. I've got the energy and the passion to do that, so hopefully we can get something going to further those community relations and get people together. The biggest thing I'm excited outside of the Harvey House about is my little brainchild, the Slaton Heritage Festival. Have any of y'all seen, I was in the 50s the last time I saw it. I have a newspaper from the Founders Day. Have any of y'all ever heard about that? Founders Day, there was a parade. It was like a history party. No? Well, I think that that's something that we need here. And so I just started forming a committee of people who are interested in helping develop and put on something really special to celebrate Slaton, who we are, who we were, the agricultural and railroad history of the town. So many of y'all, I say y'all because I'm a transplant, but have family who were railroaders or who are or were farmers, and so something to kind of bring that together. So kind of a day to celebrate who we are, who we were, open up all the shops, get people moving around, do a little scavenger hunt to where they have to go to Bound's Body Shop to pick up a little chip, and they have to go to Pauline's to pick up a little chip, and Odie Kenny to pick up a little chip, and whoever gets all the chips gets a little prize or whatever. But something to get people moving in the town, pull everybody out on the same day to do something together. And we do that on the 4th of July. There's the car show. There's some really great events, but there's nothing centered around the square to celebrate just Slaton and Slate nights. And my mind went, okay, we've got to get people from Lubbock and Post and Tahoka and Idalou and people from all over. And then through thinking about it, I was kind of like, well, no, what we need to do is get Slaton to come out. We don't need other people to come in. We need Slaton to come out and come together for that. So that's where my focus is right now. It kind of looked like, actually I have some little handouts if you want to look at them. It kind of looked like just a day where, can I do that? Thank you. It starts with like a pancake breakfast put on by the Lions Club at the Kessel building or something. Utilize that beautiful building that Chad and Jessica have done. A cook-off in the afternoon, crown a king and queen and a prince and princess of the festival. It'd kind of be a fundraiser for every organization in town instead of a lot of different activities that benefit one organization, which are important, which are great, but kind of to pool together all our little ponds into one big lake. When I was growing up, we had the Harvest Festival in Shallowater, and it was a Lions Club event, and it was the king and queen, and whoever sold the most tickets was crowned. So something kind of similar to that, but the king and queen would be the oldest residents of Slaton, or the ones who have lived here longest, and the prince and princess would be, they have sold tickets and whoever has sold the most tickets is crowned, and they get the sash, and then take a little ride in the carriage around this square or something like that. And then the Mercy Center would be open so that people who were born at Mercy Hospital can come and walk through where they were born. This little school will be open so that people who went to St. Joseph's School or who had grandparents that went there or whatever can walk around and kind of get that feel. All the businesses, and then party stuff too, face painting and pie eating contests or something like that. We'll see. Anyway, so that's just kind of my putting a little bug in your ear. I really want to see some good things happen in this town, and I think there's a lot of potential for something like that to come to Slaton and to just pull together people of, I mean, we need to get something going, I feel, of people of every socioeconomic status, all the races, all the religions, to come together and do something really fun to celebrate who we are. So I hope to get involved with you all somehow. I kind of want feedback for what the community, what ideas the community has, what I can do in my very small little role at the Harvey House, what people want to see there, what people want to see happen in Slaton, because I've got a really great venue and I can make things happen, but I have to have ideas for what those things are. And also ideas for the Heritage Festival, and feedback for kind of what your take is on that, whether you think it's something that Slaton would like and need. I'm going to do it whether you like it or not, but your feedback kind of gauges the scope as to how involved the community will be. And the first thing we're going to do at the Harvey House is I'm starting a painting class. If any of you have ever heard of Painting with a Twist, have y'all been before? It'll be that, but in Slaton for $20 a person instead of $45, and I'll teach the class, and the canvas and paint brushes and everything will be provided, and it's bring your own beverage, whatever that may be. We have some beverages there as well. But the first one will be Saturday, and then after that you'll start seeing them pop up more every other month or something like that. Maybe every month if there's enough draw for it. I talk loud and fast all the time, so if you've missed something in my blabber, please let me know. But I'm open to suggestions, ideas, questions.
How did you apply for the grant for the caboose through?
The National Railroad Historical Society. It's a national organization. We don't have affiliation with any of their chapters, but you don't have to. It's something that I found in researching grants last year, and it's a $5,000 grant that we would have to match. So we'd have to do a big old fundraiser for it, but that caboose has got to be restored. Hopefully we'll get it. We'll find out next month.
Do your rooms stay pretty full?
No, and that's a problem. In the fall and winter, we had some really great months. And of course, I've only been here since June, so it was hard for me to gauge whether that was regular or not. They put up a website in April, and since the website, reservations have increased a lot, but January and February and March have been really slow. But I think that's kind of the way it goes with it is the way it goes with the tourism industry in general. But we learned that. I'm a tech grad. I'm a restaurant, hotel, institutional management grad from tech, so that's my forte. Anyway, but no, we'd like to get bookings up for sure.
How did bingo go?
Bingo was so fun. Thank you to our bingo caller. We had a really small crowd.
Notice everybody in his family won.
We only had about 40 people show up, and it looks like it's mostly board members from our board. So we're really trying to figure out if that's something we should keep doing, or if there's something else that would draw community members a little bit more, because we advertised as much as we could. I mean, we were on Lubbock News, all the papers, everything. So, but it was a great fundraiser. People were really generous. It was a really, really great fundraiser. Yeah. So, anyway, I'm always available with email, and I want, especially kind of in my generation, people are like, oh, it's just in a small town, there's nothing to do there. I'm like, well, there is something to do there. You just have to be the one to start it, or you have to look for what's happening. Because at church, like there's pancake breakfast with Santa, and there's a Jamaica at Our Lady of Guadalupe, and there's sausage festival, and the car show, and all these great things. But I feel like all of those are kind of independent of one another. And all of them draw out some people from the community, but I'd like to see something that draws out. That doesn't have any kind of name on it. It's a, celebrates Slaton in general. So, anyway, yes.
We had something like that, I think in 81 or 80, where people went out on those bullhorns and stuff saying, come on everybody to the celebration downtown. And it was with the local businesses and everything. They had a costume contest.
In 80 or 81,
Yeah, 80 and
they
81.
ride around on trucks with bullhorns.
No.
That's a pretty good way to get people
We had
out.
We had people, they had people ride around in cars with bullhorns, getting people in the town to come to the square, where all this fun was happening between all the businesses. This is when we had all the businesses downtown. And they had a costume contest there.
For the business people or the town or
For the
who?
town. For the
That's a
town,
great
so
idea.
when-
That's really fun.
If I still have a picture of it, I have a picture of the winners who posed with, there was a show called Sunshine Sound. And I might have the picture of the winners. I have to make a digital copy of it.
Yeah. If you can find one, will you email it to me?
Yes.
Okay.
I just need your email so I can send.
Yeah, I'll give you a card.
Okay.
And I'm always open for suggestions, ideas, and criticism. I take criticism very well. But I think that there are things that some people would like to see in Slaton that maybe just don't have the facility or time to put together. And I do have the facility, and sometimes I have the time. And I would really like to do some great things here. It takes y'all though.
What time's you open there?
10 to 2, Monday through Friday, I'm there. And most people don't know that we're a museum, and we operate as such. So if you ever have family in town for holidays or whatever, or graduations or anything like that, and y'all just want to do something in Slaton, give me a call or come by the Harvey House. My cell phone number's on the door there. And if I'm in town, I'm happy to just zip up there and open up and give you a tour. People really like to tour the basement. If there's ever a disaster, ooh, it's the place to be. Any other questions?
Cool, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for letting me come and give my little spiel. I appreciate y'all. And everything y'all do. Y'all do a lot for the community. I appreciate it. Thank you.